This is Twit.
This episode of i5 for the iPhone is brought to you by lynda.com, the online learning platform with over 3,000 on-demand video courses to help you strengthen your business, technology, and creative skills. For a free 10-day trial, visit lynda.com/i5. That's lynda.com/i5. Welcome to i5 for the iPhone, episode 141, 5 things you need to know about the Apple Watch. I am Megan Maroney, and this is the show where we talk about the latest iPhone apps, tips, and tricks, and of course, news. The news is that the Apple Watch has officially been out in the wild with real people for over a week, and so far we have not turned into a dystopian society awaiting a wrist message from an evil overlord who previously went by the name Siri. I'm still waiting for my watch, but Leo let me borrow his to demo everything I'm talking about today. So whether you've got your watch up and running, you're still waiting for yours to ship like me, or still deciding why the heck you would need this thing, this is the show for you. Number 1, navigation. The biggest thing that seems to confuse people about the Apple Watch before they get the Apple Watch is how to navigate the thing. It takes a little getting used to. Tap the app to open it or use Siri. Siri, open Pandora. Here's another quick tip. Double-click the digital crown from the watch face to get to the last app you used. Swipe up on the screen to see glances of the information you need most. If you get a notification, just turn your wrist to read it. To dismiss the notification, just lower your wrist. If you've been away from your watch or you haven't checked the notifications, you'll see a red dot on the top of your screen. Swipe down to read the notifications. And speaking of notifications, Number 2, notifications. Last week we talked about spring cleaning for the iPhone, and you and I made a deal that you would no longer turn on notifications willy-nilly when you installed an app. Have you kept your part of the deal? You're going to want to be extra vigilant about notifications on the Apple Watch. If you still want to keep a lot of notifications on your phone but not on your watch, you're in luck. You can make different choices for both, just like notifications on your iPhone and your iPad. However, cleaning up the notifications on your iPhone first will make it easier for you to manage your notifications on your Apple Watch, because Apple assumes that if you don't want an app to push notifications to you on your phone, you also won't want them to push notifications to you on your watch. The only notifications that you'll see in your watch settings are those that you've already agreed to. Another cool feature of the Apple Watch is that if you're actively using your iPhone, your notifications won't also come in on your watch. You can adjust the settings for your watch notifications directly from your watch, but it's probably easier to adjust them from the larger screen of the phone. It's kind of bananas that your phone is now the larger screen, right? To turn notifications on or off from your phone, go to Settings and tap Notifications. Then scroll to the app to adjust them. In order for notifications to appear on your phone, you have to at least have banner notifications turned on. Now that you've cleaned up your iPhone notifications, it's time to adjust your watch notifications. To do that, open the Apple Watch app on your phone. You don't have to download this app. You already have it if you're running the latest version of iOS, but the only way you can adjust settings is if you've already paired the watch to the app. The first thing you'll notice is that the watch notification settings are highly customizable. Not only can you control which apps notify you or when and how they notify you, you can also set your notifications to private so only you see the details if you tap them. So go through and adjust your notifications so you only see the most vital ones on your watch. Because not only will you be annoyed by a gajillion notifications, you'll also run down your battery. Which brings me to number 3. Number 3, battery life. Battery life is the biggest complaint we heard about the Apple Watch before people started using the Apple Watch. But what about now that people have started using it? I've heard from a lot of you that it's not that big of an issue as long as you're aware of the limitations. Viewer Stan Cook showed me this picture of his Apple Watch that still had 20% battery life after 24 hours. To view your usage and standby information, open the Apple Watch app on your iPhone and go to My Watch, General, Usage. There are some obvious tips for saving battery that you probably already know from using your iPhone. Turn down your brightness on your watch, for one. You can do this on the watch itself within Settings, Brightness, and Text Size, or with the iPhone app, My Watch, Brightness, and Text Size. Another way to conserve battery is to use your phone if you're going to do a lot of talking. 1 3-hour watch conversation with grandma and your battery is dead for the day. Apple suggests that if you gesticulate or wave your hands around a lot like I do, you'll extend your battery life if you turn off the Activate on Wrist Raise feature. Open Settings on Apple Watch, select General, and turn Activate on Wrist Raise off. When you want to turn on the display, you just tap it. Limiting the amount of notifications your phone sends to your watch, as I suggested earlier, will also conserve battery life. Rene Ritchie offers some great battery-saving tips over at iMore. He says you'll use the least amount of power if your screen is black, so stay away from photos and colorful emoji, and save your hours of Twittering and Instagramming for your phone. This episode is brought to you by the kind folks at lynda.com. Lynda.com is for problem solvers, for the curious, for people who just want to make things happen. Maybe you want to create an iPhone app, redesign your website, master Photoshop, or sharpen your Excel skills. Lynda.com has everything you need to feed your curious mind. Some of the new Lynda.com courses I recommend are Exploring Composition in Photography, Up and Running with Lightroom 6 and Lightroom CC, Getting Started with Video Production and Editing, and Making Your Site Retina Ready. I've been watching the brand new course Personal Finance Fundamentals, which has a great section on understanding why you spend, sometimes too much. This will come in handy when you're deciding if you really need an Apple Watch. With a lynda.com membership, you can watch and learn from top experts who are passionate about teaching, stream thousands of video courses on demand, and learn on your own schedule. Learn on your own pace, too. Courses are structured so you can watch them from start to finish or consume them in bite-sized pieces. Download tutorials and watch them on the go, including access on your iPhone or your iPad. Your lynda.com membership gives you unlimited access to training on hundreds of topics, all for one flat rate. Whether you're looking to become an expert, you're passionate about a hobby, or you just want to learn something new, visit lynda.com/i5 and sign up for your free 10-day trial. That's lynda.com/IFIVE. And we thank them for their support. And of course, when you support Twit sponsors, you're supporting Twit and me. So thank you. Number 4, the Apple Watch has a few kinks still to be worked out. Nothing is perfect, except of course salt and pepper crinkle cut potato chips. They are perfect, but nothing else is. Not even the Apple Watch. Supplies are not meeting demand, and so far this does not seem to be a manufactured shortage to increase demand or a huge underestimation of interest on Apple's part. The Wall Street Journal reports that the shortage is a result of a faulty part in the Taptic engine that has slowed shipping dates. There are some inherent limitations to the watch, too. The information is beamed from your phone through Bluetooth, so we're not talking about lightning-fast speeds here. You might also have heard that some of the sensors don't work properly if you have dark wrist tattoos. I'm actually quite shocked at how popular that story has become. Why are we so fascinated with wrist tattoos? Apparently, some Apple Watch users are also reporting malfunctioning digital crowns. The digital crown is located on the side of the screen and is the main way you interact with the watch, aside from touch. Apple says that while not common, this is a known problem caused by dirt, debris, lotion, toothpaste, or general wrist goo, and you can fix it by holding the watch under running water. If you have a leather band, don't forget to take it off first. Are any of these a reason not to get an Apple Watch? Well, that's up to you, which brings me to number 5. Number 5, use case. If I could eliminate one phrase from the vocabulary of every tech reporter, it would be this: use case. I understand what use case means, but it's one of those jargony phrases that really mean nothing when you think about it. Never have I heard more people use the phrase use case than the months leading up to the release of the Apple Watch. Okay, maybe not never. You also heard it a lot in the months leading up to the iPad release. And you know who uses this phrase the most now? People who kind of want an Apple Watch but cannot justify the cost to themselves. So you hear a lot of, what's the use case? And I get it. There are many ways a person can spend $369,000 to $17,000. And if you have that kind of money, who am I to tell you how to spend it? But let's all be honest for a second. No one needs an Apple Watch. There is no use case that justifies the need. Back in March, The Verge noted that the reason Apple didn't come out and give us a good use case at their launch event is because the perfect Apple Watch use case would mean admitting that you don't need a phone. I don't agree with that, since you need a phone because you need a bigger screen to do most things. Bottom line is if you want an Apple Watch and you can afford one, by all means, get one and then find a use for it. If you don't want one, don't get one. This is ultimately the same question we've had to ask ourselves about most Apple products. Did we need a Mac when PCs were so much less expensive and could often do the same thing, sometimes even more efficiently? Did we need an iPod or an iPhone or an iPad? We didn't, and we don't. But it's okay to have one. Same goes for the Apple Watch. Of course, there's the question of resources and where all this technology goes when we're done with it in a year. But the flip side of that is that all this new technology creates jobs for people all over the world. I'm not naive. I understand that factories creating our technology are riddled with working conditions that don't meet the standards that every human being is entitled to. And I'm not an economist, nor do I want to play one on TV. But even bad working conditions are the first step toward creating better working conditions. So buy an Apple Watch, or don't buy an Apple Watch. That does it for this special watch edition of i5 for the iPhone. I plan to do more Apple Watch tips in the future, but the main focus of the show will still be the iPhone. All of the apps and links can be found at twit.tv/i5. You can email ideas, questions, or general feedback, including but not limited to my economic theories or opinions about potato chips. Send that feedback to i5@twit.tv or leave us a voicemail at 614-ONIFIVE. I am Megan Maroney, and we'll see you next week on i5 for the iPhone.
Bandwidth for i5 for the iPhone is provided by CacheFly at CACHEFLY.com.